with Marco, the owner of Indiescreen.
Right.
How you doing, Marco?
I'm okay.
Good.
Yes.
So tell me, what is Indiescreen in your own words? How would you describe this cinema?
Well, Indiescreen, it's a new concept in the sense that for the first time we try to associate a movie theater with a restaurant and a bar.
Okay.
Bar slash liquor. So liquor, it's one of those things that usually is non-associated to movie theaters.
Yeah, true.
So we created a space and we had to follow certain rules. We had to put a wall to separate the two spaces.
Mhm.
But the good thing is that this is a one-stop for people who want to organize events, for instance.
Mhm.
So it is the perfect space for that. So you have a theater that with a stage, so you can also use it for small concerts. But it's
Yeah,
mostly
looking
it's
at the
mostly
theater
cinema.
area, it does look like you could have like a theater performance here also.
Absolutely. And we intend to have like some comedy nights and some small, maybe acoustic concert. We want to do it versatile enough, but with very high standards in mind. So, it's not your usual place that you find around with foldable chairs, and a $2,000 projector. I mean, it is a real theater.
So it's a one-stop shop: theatrical performance, movie theater, bar.
Right. Then you can organize
the DJ area,
Absolutely,
so you can have
absolutely.
all types of things here.
Absolutely, and that, I run a film festival. I've been running it for this is the 14th year. It's the Brooklyn Film Festival.
Okay.
So that is my background, and therefore I kept that in mind, building the place.
Yeah.
So when we are looking, in the past, looking for spaces, that's where you look for a place where you can show the movies and a place where you can party.
How did you decide that you wanted to open up a movie theater slash bars?
It really comes from my background as a festival organizer, and also there is also some personal drive there. Meaning that for the festival itself, I've been running out of ideas in where to show because all the independent movies theaters in Brooklyn closed down.
Yeah.
There's only like multiplexes, and then there is a couple of indie theaters that we use.
Now
like,
this is the only movie theater in Williamsburg, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the first real movie theater in Williamsburg.
There's a fake one?
No, meaning that there are, maybe couple of spaces where it's just a room with a projector and foldable chairs, like I said.
Oh, but this is like the real.
The real movie theater,
Okay.
the only movie theater for the moment is this, yes.
Okay.
And not just Williamsburg.
Okay.
Just let's talk about the north of Brooklyn because
Yeah.
there's no theaters from here to, let's say, Brooklyn Heights.
There's no movie theater at all.
No, absolutely.
So what type of movies do you have here in Indiescreen?
We don't have mainstream. We don't
Mainstream.
have like Hollywood movies. Name itself Indiescreen. I mean, we dare to be independent. So we do, by the way, have films from Sony or IFC,
Mhm.
but those are the smaller movies
Why not mainstream films?
because that's who I am and that's what I feel. I really don't believe in mainstream movies. I mean, I get bored. I mean, it just to me, my love is independent movies.
Okay.
I watch all movies, but I find pretty boring the fact that in
It's
the
the
first
same
5 minutes, the
storyline.
first 5 minutes, I can figure out the end.
Yeah.
Those are formula films. They work because whatever they work.
In my personal opinion, I feel like Hollywood is like recreating the same movies over and over again now.
It's the same
Like
formula.
there's
it's the
Spider-Man
same-
1, 2, 3.
Right.
It's like, where's the new concepts coming from? Where are the new films at? Do you
Right.
feel like...
Well,
something-
again, I wouldn't be so drastic, meaning that not necessarily because you make a movie with a lot of money
Mhm.
has to be bad, because there's people that have big budgets and still dare,
Yeah.
so they take risks and, but, usually, the mainstream Hollywood movie, it's a movie that you can figure it out, it's
Yeah.
a formula movie,
You pretty much
maybe
know the
entertaining,
ending.
but I leave the theater with nothing. While within the movies, I'm always learning.
What's your background in film? Where did you start?
I'm a filmmaker, and I came from Italy in 1988 to
Okay.
study film. I went to St. John's University. I then started a feature that I finished in '98 called Clouds of Magellan.
Okay.
I've been working since the end of school, '95, in many films, whether as a producer, or as a, I even production designed some films. You know, I love directing, but it happens that most of the stuff that I directed, I also produced it. So, you know, I made my own project. In other words, you know.
Where does the vision come from and the will to say, okay, I want to do this. I want to open up my own theater? Because you started out making films, but a movie theater and a building, an establishment like this just doesn't happen.
I know.
So how did it just? You had a vision and you just said, I'm just going to just make it happen.
No, well, that's you know, things don't come from, you know, one day to the other. I mean, this is obviously, it's been in my head for a long time, you know. The idea of associating these three businesses is because I also know the weaknesses of each individual business, meaning that, you know, we are in Williamsburg where there are tons of restaurants and, you know, there is no theater. But then again, there are theaters that are really struggling to survive, and that's a reality because, you know, it's an expensive business. It takes money to put together. It takes money to run, and then, you know, part of your money goes to distribution companies. So, you know, and so at the end of the day, it's really difficult to run a business, you know, as a regular theater. Just, you know.
Tell me about the design of the theater, bar area, the architecture, even the little lobby area in front of the theater. How did that vision come into play?
It came like, you know, again, I'm a filmmaker, so I work in an organic way. I'm an independent filmmaker in an organic way. So first understand the space and what you can do, but then it just grew organically, piece after piece. You know, of course, there was an architect, there was a design, there was our ideas put together.
Okay, it was your vision.
It was our vision, absolutely. Mine and my partners, Anna, and I have another partner, Christoph, that he actually also is the contractor. Okay. So he actually built this place. The theater, it all comes from, you know, what I know about theaters.
How long did it take for you to basically go from the vision to this theater you have now?
That's a scary part. So when I came back, I went to Italy, and when I came back, I felt that, you know, that was going to be my next stage. So between that moment that I decided to actually do it, of course, keep in mind that finding the space was not easy. You know, we found and lost 2 spaces before this. I looked for a space in January. From January to July, I lost 3 spaces. Wow. This was actually 2 spaces. This was the third one. And from the moment that we walked in, it took 1 year and a half to actually finish it.
It's a long process.
It's a very long process.
But you know what? I feel like as a filmmaker, even when you try to put together films, and you're trying to find resources to put together that film, it's a process.
It's the same.
Maybe that's.
I dealt in the same way.
Why do you love film?
I don't know. After so many years, I don't even know. No, I'm just kidding. The fact that, you know, I love independent movies because I learn something every time, and it is my way to travel in the world without moving from my room. You know, there are no many things in life that really excite me. Indie films is one of them.
What are those things besides film? What are those things that excite you?
You see, I'm already having problems. No, I'm just kidding. And I like photography, I like art. Today, what excites me is culture and the fact that I'm involved in it.
What's your favorite movie?
Again, I'm having problems. I see so many movies.
What's your favorite 3 movies?
Listen, I can tell
Who's
you.
Your favorite filmmaker?
I like Spike Lee a lot.
Is he your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
Oh,
There's so many that I like, you know.
Name
Scorsese.
Okay, name 5 of your favorite.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
You can't do that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, you said Spike Lee, and I like Spike Lee. So
I like Spike Lee.
All right. So tell me, why did you...
Because I'm going to end up telling you all the New Yorkers. I just, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm partial. So.
You can't say all New Yorkers?
No, it's okay.
Okay. What's the future of Indiescreen? What's the future? Where is it going to go? Do you plan on opening up more theaters, or do you want to just stay with this location itself?
No, I don't put any limit to anything. Obviously, you know, I follow the flow and push on my own as much as I can. So, you know, There's no limit that I put on how much this can grow. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be an Indiescreen in every major city in America. Who knows? For now, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm focused on. I just want to make this place successful. I want it to become the center of the community, a place where people come and chat about film while having a glass of wine, and then coming in and catching the last, film of Woody Allen or whatever,
So tell me, why did you decide to open up your theater in Williamsburg? Was there a particular reason, or was this the first place?
The reason is very precise. I've been living here since '94, and I started the festival here in '98. It was at the beginning called Williamsburg Brooklyn Film Festival. I'm one of the pioneers of Williamsburg. I've been here again since '94, when this place was a dangerous place on Kent Avenue. You wouldn't dare, showing up at any time of the day. It was, crack land. There was a lot of bad things happening here.
So why do you think Williamsburg, was there a reason that this area became gentrified, or was it just, how
well,
did it
gentrification is not something that we can stop. And Williamsburg was the immediate answer, to the overflow of Manhattan. Like the first time that the people ventured to Brooklyn was Williamsburg, because the artist community in Manhattan lived and worked in Soho Village, and so you have take Bowery, Delancey, take the Williamsburg Bridge. It changed face so many times, so many times. It's like, and maybe that's what I like. I like the fact that it's dynamic. And the people from all over the country and all over the world move here. The neighborhood is definitely safer. It's cleaner.
It's a completely different neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you could describe Williamsburg in 3 words, you said dynamic. What other 2 words?
Trendy, right? That's the obvious thing to say.
Dynamic, trendy. You got one more.
Well, it's an artistic neighborhood.
So is artistic
arts.
your word?
Well, arts, yeah, for sure.
So dynamic, trendy,
and artistic.
It's
a little island.
It's a little island of trendy,
dynamic,
art, and dynamic.
Absolutely.